approved and stuff. Certified. Exactly. All right. Well, we will get to going here. Oh, that works. Beautiful. Something comes together. All right, welcome to King's All For You Extravaganza. This is, did you preface that as to what this was at all? Like, or just everybody
leadership development?
But like how it came to be.
Oh, yeah. I let him know, but if you want to give him your side of the story.
Oh, no, let's hear it.
All right, so
that's more fun.
We had these 8:30 a.m., Western time or Pacific time meetings that we do, and Jason would run like 2 in a row, and then Brian would run 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And then he likes to gamify things, and he taught us gamification. And so he was like, guys, I made a game for our call to get more attendance, and it was the King's Last Man Standing.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the contest was starting at that day. Everyone that was on was in the contest, and you had to be on every single call in order to stay on until the last person standing. So like everyone was super pumped. The next week, like half the people dropped.
Just gone. Yeah.
Gone. Like dropped, not there. And me, Jacob Myslovich, and Miranda were pretty much like, we were the 3 that stayed. And Devin Mitchell, he missed it by like 2 minutes. And like the thing was, you had to show up with your camera on the whole time, on time. And then what was the other one? Just that. Okay.
Show up on time, the camera on.
Yep. And so there was like one day where I got out of my airplane at 8:25, and I was like, come on. And then my camera turned off for like 5 minutes because I was on my phone and I had to answer a text, and then everyone was blowing the chat, hey, Carson's camera's off, and I'm like, nope, I'm here. And got all the way down to the wire to where it was just me, Jacob, and Miranda, and he was like, this is getting kind of too easy, like you guys are always on this, so I'm gonna throw a curveball at you guys gotta watch this 3-minute video until the end where he has like this little secret. It was like a whole thing, He's like, I'm going to bring someone back in, and then you have to follow all these instructions, and I was the only person to actually follow them to the very end correctly.
And the best part was Jacob tried. He's like, yeah, I did. I'm like, oh, did you?
Because it says if you completed a module. It literally says if you finished it. And I remember I was making dinner while watching the module and taking notes, triple tasking, and but I still did it.
Yeah.
And I had my notes too, and Jake was like, "Oh yeah, I got my notes," and I was like, and then you're like, "Are you sure?" It doesn't say.
Which one did you rewatch? And he's like, this one. So I pulled up my shared screen, and it's like, this one. He's like, you can see that.
It was so funny. Oh my gosh, it was great, and I started freaking out. It's probably recorded. My reaction is definitely recorded. It might be on the slide. Jason has a way of using our Facebook pictures whenever we won something. So at the end of every call he does a spinner wheel and a spinner winner, and if you participated, every time you participated,
if you're on the call, you participate, and you're on time.
And you're on time. You get a chance for each of those in the spinner winner. And I won one time, or every time anybody won, he found the most the oldest Facebook picture to project as the winner for the next call. And he got me in 2010 at a Giants World Series game, and I'm like 13 years old.
Yeah,
I was like
prepubescent.
Yes, 100%. I was like an 8th grader. And I was 8th grade Carson.
So
was little.
So adorable.
It was great. I was a cute kid.
Thanks for keeping that up.
Yes. Oh, I share this with a lot of people. You want to see how, I used to not be what I look like now. Not even close. You probably won't even be able to recognize me. But yeah, that's how we're here.
So that is how we are here. So great to meet all of you guys. My name is Jason. I work with Champion Development, which is a company who Carson has been involved for some time now. But
over a year now.
Over a year, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the Health and Wealth Academy arm of the company.
And now I'm in Evolve.
And now you're in Evolve. That's right. So I don't know. You may not know this as well. Health and Wealth Academy is its own arm.
Yep.
It's like its own company within Champion Development. We have the Online Trainers Federation. We also have the Tribe of Champions, and these are all separate divisions within the company. So you've been involved in the one part, which is geared towards basically entrepreneurs, business owners, 1099 contractors, people who are very successful in their own right, but want to find good balance in their life with their health as well as their business, right? So we teach a lot. You have a coach, right, that you do your health training with. Helps with like workouts, nutrition plans, like the whole works that way. And then, you get a lot of business training and leadership development training, which is where I step in on that side of the company. But I'm actually within the company. I'm the head of the sales for the entire company. And companies
I didn't know that.
Most people don't, because I don't tell them. So I'm head of sales. So all enrollments that come into the company are overseen by myself and my team. And we've been growing exponentially. And we'll talk a little bit more about kind of like how to foster growth and how to foster a cadence of cultural fun within teams and stuff like that, because that's what you guys do, right? And so just so that I'm on the same page with everybody here, I know you're a DM with your team.
Correct.
Is everybody here on the same team, or are you all DMs within the same division, or how?
No, so I'm the assistant manager for Walnut Creek.
Okay.
Brand new, like a week or two ago.
Very good. Okay. And assistant manager with ambitions to move into running your own team and things like that, or?
I'm really looking forward to it. But the reason I'm actually like assistant manager right now is for like one of my more future career goals, which is actually to be like my own restaurant owner.
Oh, very cool.
So I want to like learn about management before actually getting into owning my own restaurant.
You said restaurant, and here's like food. That's good.
I'm getting hungry.
I love cooking all the time. So.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, and then Bree.
I'm a new assistant manager.
Bree,
yeah.
And Chance. The thing Carson.
I
Chance, thank you. So Bree, yours.
I'm a new assistant manager in Carson's office in Cleo.
Okay.
And I, like him, I'm very new. About 2-3 weeks ago.
Like 2, yeah.
Very new.
Yeah. And this is kind of, for me, it's more of like a go through college thing, just to save enough money for law school.
Oh, very cool. And what kind of law?
I've been bouncing around in between. Like, currently it's business law, but like, I'm keeping my horizon very broad, so I'm not sure yet. But I know I've always wanted to become a lawyer since 8th grade, so it's definitely something that I'm going to pursue.
I actually, because you're selling in direct sales, that will give you a lot more education than law school will. Because
and the networking, I've met so many lawyers.
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of family members that are in the legal field, and they'll say, if you can spell, that makes you a far better lawyer. It's actually my opinion. If you can sell, you're better at anything that you do, because selling is just a transfer of enthusiasm and the power of persuasion, right?
Yes.
The more that you can do that, the more that you can achieve in whatever endeavor that you're going, especially in law, where you literally have to persuade either a jury or a judge on this is how the evidence is and why you should believe what we're saying. So, very cool. Awesome. Chance. Nice. Okay. Right. Yeah. Very, very cool goals. Very, not even remotely closely related to each other either. Between an OB office and a restaurant business, but that's very cool. And why in those areas? Like the restaurant one kind of fits, if your mom's working there and things like that now, is that what you're saying? But why the OB? Why it's?
I want to figure out
My sister's a nurse. She would agree with you. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I've got one sister that's a nurse, and another sister. As I mentioned, I have a lot of family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they both actually live in the same small town. One's a nurse, and the other one's a midwife, and so delivers 2 to 3 babies every single day. Yeah, it's tough work, but very rewarding in that capacity. So that's awesome. And then Carson, as the DM, and obviously this is, you bleed Cutco, and you're going to be in this company for the next 40 years, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like 100% for sure. The next 2 to 4.
Oh, I said 40. But yeah.
Oh, 40.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 4.
No.
I was like, oh yeah, for sure in the next 2 to 4. But yeah, no, I mean everything's go. I love the people I work with. I love the people I'm able to impact and help grow, and the people I've met are just like incredible. I wouldn't even be in Champ Dev if it wasn't for Cutco, and I wouldn't even know you if and it's just everything's kind of aligning in my life that I'm seeing, and this has a huge reason to do with that. There's 3 pivotal moments in my life. One I don't like to talk about, and then 2, one is wrestling, and then the other is Cutco.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, we're all going to get to know each other a little bit better through the course of the next few hours, and hopefully make an impact on your lives and your business lives and everything else that way, and reciprocate that the same way. I love being impacted by your guys' positivity and feedback that way, so we're all going to collaboratively learn together, and I'm just going to be a facilitator in the process. Sounds good?
Sounds amazing.
All right, awesome. So there we go. So I love connecting with people. So if you want to snap a picture of that and add it later, add me on Instagram, Facebook. You guys are Strava people. I'm on there as well as Nike as well. But yeah, love connecting with people so that, encouraging, and, I'm always a favor of high tides raise all ships, right? And the more that we can encourage each other in future endeavors and goals and restaurant businesses and everything else that way, then that's all good. So happy to do that. Today's agenda. So we got our intros and warm-up that we're in the middle of doing right now. We're going to change this up a little bit because pizza will be getting here around 2:30. So we might adjust the schedule, but we'll kind of stick to the same general format here. So I've got a training prep for you guys on the key to leadership, which I'm really, really excited to go over with you. From there, we're going to do a workshop of implementing that training, okay, into your offices, into your daily, to-dos with your teams and stuff, how to really implement that key of leadership. We'll have fun with that. We'll take a quick break after that and going into the last training of the day, which is all about making an impact, okay? Then we'll wrap up, and we got a surprise activity for anybody who is able to be there for that. So, I think
I'm going to have to
leave early.
Not too early. I'll stay until 5.
Okay. So you'll be out. You're in. You're out, and you're in.
I'm in.
Actually, so tell me what's meeting.
Oh, dude, it's your appointment, man.
All right.
Yeah. And then we might have people actually join later for the surprise activity that are getting off of shows. It is not confirmed, but I invited them.
How many people?
Like 5.
Oh. Okay.
But it's not confirmed,
Okay.
whatsoever. Yeah.
Because we'll need to know probably right around the wrap up and close time.
Okay, I can reach out to all of them during the break.
Yeah.
And see what the status is.
I could tell you what the surprise is, but it's not a surprise.
I was literally like, when you sent me the initial agenda, I was like, I was gonna ask you what's the activity at the end, the special activity. I was like, if he wanted us to know, he would say
I told you. Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, I'm not gonna
I'm
ask.
excited for that.
Yeah. If it's bowling, I'm really good at bowling. Just saying.
That might be a plan B. Doing a lot of research on the activity. I'm like, I hope this works, but I don't know. It's always a little dicey when every single time I've tried to do this activity. So we'll see how.
Let's do it. That's sick. Skydiving. Yes. I have gone skydiving. It was one of the craziest feelings I've ever had in my life. I backflipped out of the plane.
Oh, did you?
It was epic.
By yourself? Is that the first time you had to go?
No, I was with someone, but we backflipped in tandem.
Oh, I was gonna say.
My brother did like 4 with the dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his GoPro video was like.
Oh my god.
I always have it on my computer. Show you the most recent one that I went on. My chute got all tangled up. The cords did. Yeah. It was a good time. So,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
and then it was just like it was all twisted up, and obviously the chute doesn't work very well when the cords are all twisted up. So the guy, I was running tandem, and he looks up, he's like, okay, we got a situation. I'm like, okay. He's like, just put your head back, arms like this. I'm like, okay. I'm just like full extension like this, and he's pulling on things, and and then we just start spinning. The chute was staying still, and then we're just spinning underneath the chute as it's unraveling. And then we finally pop out. He's like, okay, we're all good. I'm like, cool. Did we almost die? He's like, just about. It was good. It was good. Got it all on camera too. It was fun.
That is quite the video.
It's a good one. But my favorite time going was definitely Hawaii skydiving. If you go to Hawaii, go skydiving. You will not regret it.
I went over Santa Cruz
Santa Cruz
on the beach. Yeah, it was a beautiful day, so it was perfect.
Anyhow, so moving right along here with some of the intros. I want to introduce you guys who I am. Right, talked a little bit about it already, but I've been in direct sales since 2007. So a couple years under my belt in the direct sales, mostly in the door-to-door knocking kind of business that way. So the sales, right? I have led and managed some of the top teams in the door-to-door industry and one of the largest companies in door-to-door. Do you guys know a lot of door-to-door companies? If you know Vivint?
I know Vivint.
Okay, so that's where I got my kind of cut my teeth is knocking doors, selling alarms. I've done solar, a bunch of other things as well, but most of my leadership has been in running teams in those arenas. And we run top teams where they are the biggest teams. They are the most successful on the per rep average, so each guy making a lot of money individually, and also winning company competitions. You guys have the Silver Cup, is that right?
Yes,
So
we do.
So a similar kind of thing, company-wide competition that's super fun, right? Super fun to do these competitions. I friggin' love team competitions. They're my jam. And most recently, I was brought in as almost a consulting kind of role where I stopped managing my own teams and I started managing other people's teams. So I could come in, fix what was broken in their offices. I do that over and over again for the last 5 teams that I've done that with, increased their growth by about 200% within a 6-month time period. And a bunch of them, I think two of them won the equivalent of the Silver Cup in terms of all that stuff. So that's what I do. I go in and I'm a fixer. I go in and find something that's broken. I systemize it. That's why they have me teaching you guys on how to do systems, because that's what I just naturally. I'm an operator, engineer,
Builder, or builder and innovator, or
more builder mechanic.
Okay, gotcha.
So I've learned about myself. I'm not great at coming up with a new idea. Creativity wise, not great. So if you give me a blank canvas, I'm like, cool, that's really nice and clean. that's what I am. But if you put something on there, I can then say like, oh, okay, that right there doesn't work. That needs to be fixed. That works well, but that doesn't work well with that. So I'm very good when cards are on the table and I can strategize and move the pieces around, right? So that's why in the work that I do, that's essentially what I do. I come into businesses, companies, and as a consultant, say like, all right, show me what you got, and I can fix it. And then personally, I like to do marathons and Spartan races. If you guys are into that kind of stuff, so
I love that.
Yeah, it was a fun time. The most recent one I did was a 30-miler Spartan race up and down the mountain. It took about 14 hours. It was beat me up pretty good.
That sounds like my jam right there.
Yeah.
I need to do my first marathon first, though.
I would recommend that. Yeah, it's a little less grueling when it's just like running and not up and down the mountain and stuff. But yeah, they were good times. So that's who I am in terms of what I've done in the business world. But that's not really who I am, because who I really am is one of 9 kids, my family. I'm a father of 2 kids myself. I've got an amazing wife that you guys have met already. I love traveling the world. I speak a few different languages, and yeah, some of the things that make me very different than other people in my business is that I'm patient, I'm very methodical, excellent with strategies, and I'm also introverted, which you don't often find in sales. I'm very introverted. I naturally gravitate to just be on my own and just dig my head into the sand and just do my own thing, right? So recognizing that, I share that because I think it's important to understand who you are and where your fight against your natural law of order is very disingenuous to your God-given like talents, strengths, and where you can really excel, right? You when you're running an office, you shouldn't run your office the same way as your leader ran their office or by another colleague. And it's an important distinction to note is that a lot of mistakes that are made in leadership, they're made when people try to copy and paste exactly, right? We're good. Yeah. When you try to copy and paste exactly, so many companies fail, right? And they fail because they saw it like, okay, well, Apple does their stuff like this, so we're going to copy it, right? But it's an understanding of why Apple does what they do, right? Like, why does Apple think different as their slogan, right? Which I always find really funny that we think different, yet we all have the same phones, we all have the same laptops. Really thinking outside the box there, right? But you get what I mean? Like, if Google did exactly what Apple does, Google would not be as successful, right? If Facebook did exactly what MySpace did, right? Do you guys remember MySpace? I'm dating myself here, right? Facebook would not be Facebook if they just tried to copy what was working in the marketplace. Make sense? So, an important part of what we want to take away from today, and my hope, is that you guys can see my background, my personal experiences and stuff like that have led me to where I am, just like your experiences have led you to where you are today, right? That's not something that you should strive to change, strive to shy away from. The more you can lean into those things, the better leader you will be because you will be genuine, authentic, you, right? And people gravitate to that aspect, that quality in the leader more than how talented you are, more than how eloquent you are, more of the skill set, right? Like we go back to skill set, I've done a lot of different things, right? And that's all fine and well. But people will gravitate more towards me because I'm true to my family, right? That's a very important thing for me. Like I will sacrifice my work, I will let people down at work if it's going to be at the cost of my kids or my wife. That's just rule number 1. And because I do that, I get more work. And I am more reliable and dependable because people know what my core values are. Make sense? Yeah. So I am, very passionate. That's why I'm here. I'm here voluntarily to edify for you guys to do all this. I do it because I love Carson and what he's brought to our groups. And so I'm happy to give back and make an impact in your guys' life and your life as well, Carson. And again, hopefully make an impact in some way. All right. And I'm excited for the future. I'm a bit of a futurist that way. I don't often dwell on the past because it's done. I can't do anything about it. But what I can do today will change the trajectory of what is in the future. So that is me. So my next question is, who are you? Right? Mm-hmm. You guys already introduced yourself and what you do, but who you are, I'm a little bit more interested in. Right? So we're going to go around the horn again. I want to learn a little bit more about who you are, your passions, your family, your values, your goals, the things that really make you tick. Okay? Things that, if you were, again, introducing yourself in an elevator and somebody says, oh, nice to meet you, who are you and what do you do? You're not going to, moving forward, you're not going to say, oh, well, my name's Brian and I work at Cutco. Like, that's very uninspiring. Right? And not the fact that it's name's Brian or that you work at Cutco is uninspiring, right? The uninspiring part is that it's what you do, but it's not who you are. Make sense?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'm going to share a story that's like